morning, fellow Toastmasters. Today I will be talking to you about Metal Earth. Have you heard of Metal Earth? No, nobody in this room? Wow. You folks must be all outdoorsy people and not indolent. Sit at your house and try to do a little bottle. Metal Earth is a brand of the company Fascinations, and they make simple do-it-yourself models which start off as simple steel plates and become 3D, extremely detailed models. Over the next few minutes, I will show you some of the models that I have completed and talk to you about some of the detail that exists in these models. My interest in Metal Earth started when I saw this piece, a model of the Taj Mahals, at a bookstore in Boulder. I was amazed by how detailed the piece was. I was amazed at how detailed this piece was, and it immediately brought back memories of a family trip I took to Agra to see the Taj Mahal over 20 years back. Going back to Boulder, it must have been 20 minutes that I was staring at this, just mesmerized by the accuracy of this model as compared to the real Taj Mahal. I finally decided to pick up a fresh piece, and when I got home, I immediately started working on it. I thought to myself, this would probably take me an hour to complete. Not really. There are 3 challenges when you build Metal Earth models. The first challenge is that you typically start off with steel plates, which look like these. Every piece of the model needs to be individually plucked out of this plate. Now imagine breaking steel with your own hands, even if the steel is just 1/32 of an inch, when you're dealing with something that's really fragile. The second complication, or second challenge, is understanding the technique by which the model is held together. Let me sketch this out. All the pieces on these models have a variety of insertion tabs that look something like that. Something like that. These tabs are just 1/16th of an inch long, so they're really tiny. Every tab fits into an insertion hole onto a corresponding piece, which looks like that. Once this tab is inserted into the insertion hole, you either have to bend it close or twist it close to secure the 2 pieces together. The third challenge, and the biggest challenge for me, is what is known as fat finger syndrome. The complication of having fat fingers that makes even the simplest of tasks, such as sending a text message, extremely difficult. Putting these 3 challenges together, what I thought was going to be an hour's leisure exercise turned out to be about 10 hours of work. About 3 weeks after I had picked up this model of the Taj Mahal, I finally completed it. And every time I look at it, I'm absolutely mesmerized by the accuracy of this model. Metal Earth is very addictive. And about a week after I had finished the Taj Mahal, I had got my second piece. This is the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. Again, let me show you some of the detail on this model. That is the communication satellite. Those little tiny things are the laser turrets. These little curved things on the side are the escape pods. The Millennium Falcon was a very fun piece, and the reason this was fun is because you would notice the top shell and the bottom shell of the model are both curved. We start off with plates that are flat, and the creators of Metal Earth came up with a very ingenious idea to make sure putting this curve in the model was not too difficult. The most difficult part about this piece was the cockpit. You can see it over here. It's kind of a little fuzzy, and that's because I broke it. Fat finger syndrome. My wife came to my rescue and put on it a small dot of super glue, and fortunately the cockpit is still on the Millennium Falcon. The third piece that I completed is this. It's the 1908 Ford Model T. The Ford Model T was the first car that was built on a mass production scale on a moving assembly. Again, the detail in this model. Those are the headlights. You can see the gears on the inside. And my most favorite part, the really elegant Ford sign on it. When you look at this model, you will ask me, where is the steering wheel? I broke that too. And this time, superglue wouldn't have been a solution. Metal Earth has various collections ranging from Star Wars, Star Trek, vehicles, international architecture, domestic architecture, planes, cars, ships, and a very strange insects collection. I consider these models to be very hard, and a lot of the models are actually rated ages 14 and above. When you look at Metal Earth on Amazon, it's quite highly rated. A lot of the models are 4.5 plus on the rating. However, if you look at specifically just the one-star reviews of these models, you will see comments of the nature, the pieces are too fragile, or my hands are too fat for such detailed amount of work. Nonetheless, Metal Earth provides endless hours of fun to somebody who is very detail-oriented and likes to work on such tiny things with their hands or even with a small plier. When you go to pick up your first piece of Metal Earth, I have a suggestion. Pick up one to build, and the second one to scavenge for parts when it breaks down. Thank you.